And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
You don't know me yet, but I bet we have something in common. We all wish we were better functioning humans. Maybe figure out how to sleep better, have more meaningful relationships, cook more. That's Search for Practical Knowledge. It's my job at the Washington Post. I host a podcast called Try This. Every episode is like an audio class, and we learn together. I'm Christina Quinn. Now you know me. Check out Try This wherever you're listening.
KFI AM 640 is later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Oh my goodness, I made it through the weekend. I didn't know if I was going to make it. They said they were going to burn down Los Angeles or something like that. There would be no way that the city could survive. And I see Stefan, he made it. Good to see you, brother. I didn't know if I'd ever see you again.
Good to see you.
Mark Runner, I see you made it.
Just by the skin of my teeth. I'm so lucky to be alive right now.
I was listening to you over the weekend giving the harrowing details of all that was going on.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have to self-medicate.
I was, but that was for another reason.
Oh, if you say so. I'm not here to judge you.
No. Please don't judge. But to be serious, I'm glad that the weekend was largely uneventful. Largely. Given the naysayers and the doom peddlers, LA is going to live another day. Let me give you some specifics. According to LAPD and city officials, there were some 574 arrests made since June 8th. Again, that's since June 8th. According to police, 38 arrests were made on Saturday night for various charges, including 35 for curfew violations, 1 for failure to disperse, and 1 for resisting, obstructing, or delaying a police officer, and 1 for resisting arrest. And Mark, I don't know if you have any update on this next one. The department was unable to comment on one man's testicle being shattered after he was shot by a rubber bullet from close range. You have been shot by a rubber bullet. So is there any validity to that possibly?
Well, I'm not completely current on my testicular news, but I can tell you, I can tell you that rubber bullets really smart. They hurt like hell. I have been shot quite a number of times by them, and it's not like a smack on the wrist. They really hurt, and they may be less lethal, quote, munitions, but you don't play around. You don't want to get hit anywhere in the face or eyes, certainly with those. And I can imagine it would do a considerable amount of damage in the bikini area, let's say.
If you were shot in the chest by 1 or 2 of them, can they put people down, or do they have stopping power? Or is it just more like a deterrent?
It certainly is a deterrent. Trust me on this. You do not want to experiment with this deterrent. I think mostly, I got shot like in the legs, torso, in the posterior, because a lot of the times they'll shoot people who are running away in a protest.
I wonder why that is.
I'll leave that to you for conjecturing, but you absolutely want eye protection or just to get the hell out of the area if they're breaking out these, rubber bullets in a protest.
All right, let's get some stats. Let's go down the ledger. June 7th, there were 29 arrests for failure to disperse. June 8th, there were 21 arrests. Charges range from attempted murder with a Molotov cocktail, assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer, looting, and failure to disperse. And again, these arrests and charges, they may or may not stick. They may be dropped. There's no telling how they will be handled. We're just listing the arrests and the associated charges. June 9th, there were 96 arrests for failure to disperse, 14 arrests for looting, 1 each for assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and vandalism, or as some people say, Tuesday. June 10th, 203 arrests for failure to disperse, 3 for firearms possession, 1 for assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer, and 1 for discharging a laser at an LAPD airship. We saw that. There were also 17 arrests for curfew violations. June 11th, 71 arrests for failure to disperse, 7 for curfew violations, 2 for assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer, and 1 for resisting a police officer. June 12th, 33 arrests for failure to disperse, 13 for curfew violations, 1 for resisting a police officer, and 1 for pointing a laser at an LAPD airship. 1 person who was detained for violating curfew was also arrested on a robbery warrant. You dumb ass.
And you know what? There's always some idiot who goes to these things with a laser. Yeah. I mean, what are you thinking?
Or a warrant.
You have a warrant.
Don't
you
go
have
with
a warrant. That means they're already looking for you. You're going to jail no matter what. What is your name, sir? No, I'm going to give you my name. Okay.
There's just always a handful of people like that who lower the aggregate IQ of the whole crowd.
And this is going to be part of my final thought tonight, the history of protests in America. Just want to let you know in advance. June 13th, 18 arrests for curfew violation, 1 for assault with a deadly weapon. And June 14th, which is Saturday, the No Kings Movement protest day, 35 arrests for curfew violation, 1 each for failure to disperse, resisting, obstructing, or delaying a police officer, and resisting arrest. If you looked at this like on a graph, you could see that it started off more unruly with more unrest near the beginning and tapered off at the end. So there you have it. The curfew has been reduced in size and scope by Mayor Bass in the sense of it will only begin at 10 p.m. and I think it goes until 6 a.m. if I'm not mistaken. But I know it's 10 p.m. until then. And Mark Ronner was shaking his head, so until 6 a.m. So we're moving in a positive direction in that way. Well, let me just ask, Twala, how was your Father's Day?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic, especially after you called me and said, no, T, we don't have to be on the air tonight.
Because L.A. didn't burn down.
Yeah, I was on my way, and you saved me a trip with the news that said, hey, it's dying down. We don't have to go on.
Yeah, there was a possibility that we would have been on last night from 6 to 9 p.m., but circumstances did not require that. So it was good for the city, and it was good for us.
What about you? What'd you get into?
My wife and I, we went to this place called Raqqa in Bellflower. It is it's almost like an Indian, I don't want to call it Spanish and Indian. And when I say India, I mean India, as in South Asian. It's a mixed cuisine type restaurant. They have belly dancing. They have this great food. I had this lobster mac and cheese that was so damn good. So good. My wife and I said, we're going to go back just to get that. That was an appetizer. I got the salmon and like mixed cuisine. For the main entree, I got salmon and also like a pesto sauce pasta.
Okay.
So they had all types of cuisine in there, and it's a whiskey bar. So I got to sample various whiskeys from around the world. Mark Ronda, you would have really appreciated it. I'm being serious.
I know I've been known to take a drink from time to time.
Too much good stuff.
No, I didn't because my mind was just racing. Usually on a Sunday night, I'm thinking about all the stuff that I need to do. Like, for example, I had to go to Spectrum News early this morning. It was just back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
Real quick though, rubber bullets can shatter a testicle. It's called testicle rupture, and it can cause testicular infraction, which is tissue death. Testicular torsion, permanent twisting, of the spermatic cord, infection, and infertility.
Not recommended then, if I can sum up.
That's a very cheery start to the show.
Let me just add one thing. It is the long-suffering one's birthday today.
Oh, you know
what?
And it's also my sister's birthday. So
Happy
June 16th,
birthday
the
to
Gemini's
all.
in the house. Happy birthday to Marie O'Kelly Green. She probably doesn't like me using her name, but I used it anyway. She's a whole 23 today.
So is the long-suffering one.
That's right. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're going to catch up with the ongoing, when we talk about protests, the Long Beach nurses, they're having a candlelight vigil and also an informational picket. Talk about being smart with the protest. Will they explain everything which is going on as part of the candlelight vigil? And we'll be joined on the program next by Brandy Welch, who is a registered nurse, pediatric nurse. That's next. KFI AM 640 and YouTube. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at public.com. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
There's an efficient way to get caught up on a lot of news. It's called The Seven from The Washington Post. It's a newsletter and podcast. Whether you're reading or hit play, you get 7 stories you need to know, and you can consume it all in just a few minutes. The Seven is out every weekday morning by 7 a.m. Eastern. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'm one of the writers, and I host the show. Find The Seven podcast wherever you're listening. The newsletter link is waiting for you in the show notes.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Registered nurses at Memorial Care Long Beach Medical Center and Miller Children's and Women's Hospital in Long Beach have been holding an informational picket right now to highlight their patient safety concerns stemming from the layoff of dozens of nurses and healthcare workers. Where it's happening is Memorial Care Long Beach Medical Center, which is 2801 Atlantic Avenue in Long Beach. And joining me right now is pediatric nurse Brandy Welch to give us an update. Ms. Welch, how are you this evening, all things considered?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me on this evening.
Absolutely. We have been following this story closely. What did you hope to achieve with this candlelight vigil?
Well, we really need to highlight the patient safety concerns that we as nurses at Long Beach Memorial Miller Children's have with these layoffs and our ability to care for the public in the best possible way.
The last time I spoke to anyone connected to this issue, actually the last 2 times, there had been no movement from management. There had been no communication. There had been no type of overture to suggest that they were ready to come to the table. Has that changed at all?
That has changed mildly. We do have a bargaining date set for June 26th, and there's 2 more dates set for July 8th and 18th, but they're all far and few between, and it really isn't allowing us to solve the contract in a timely fashion.
Talk to me about what's happening at the hospital right now. There was a 1-day strike, and that was part of the first day of what was a 5-day lockout by management. Now, I would have to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, that the normal nursing staff is back in place. What is the morale like? What is patient care like?
Patient care is being taken care of to the best of our ability, and as far as the mood is somber. We are losing friends and family, as we call it, to our staff, and it is impacting our ability to care because of we're losing those individuals that are there to support.
When you sit down at the table, you need not tell me all the strategy and specifics, but what do you think is the top line item that nurses are going to be asking for, or is something that is just impossible to avoid?
Patient safety and asking for metal detection or medical detectors at each opening, public opening, and of course, retention of nurses. They're laying off nurses when we should be keeping them.
Let's talk about that. When you talk about the metal detectors, there is a safety issue for just the environment in which you work, having nothing to do with the patients. Am I reading that correctly?
It's for not only the nurses, but for the public as well. We want everyone to feel safe coming into the medical center for their care. And to do that, we need to have those metal detectors at each opening.
Right now, you're in the middle. I mean, statistically, right in the middle of this candlelight vigil. Tell me about what people are saying, or what is the general public saying, what other nurses are saying during this vigil.
During this vigil, we want a safe contract. We want safe patient care to be a priority for the medical center, and we want retention of our nurses.
Is there anyone, to the best of your knowledge, from management who is monitoring this vigil or just watching? Are they playing any role?
There's no role being played, only security. They say it's there to protect us, but it's to make sure that we're not getting rowdy, which we would never do. Mm-hmm. It's a peaceful protest.
Okay, well, along those lines of a peaceful protest, has there been any antagonism by management in this way to push you in the direction of an unpeaceful protest?
None at this time.
How is it your families are responding? And I know it's one thing to hear about this in the media. It's one thing for you to talk about it from your personal perspective, but I'm quite sure you have friends and family who may be listening right now, who may be wondering where all this is going. What is it you're hearing from them?
They are hearing about the discord at the hospital between the nurses and the management team. They are aware of it, and they are all watching it very closely. They are concerned, especially the family and friends in the area, about patient safety and care they may receive at the medical center. I just reassure them that the nurses are doing their utmost to take care of each and every patient to the best of our ability.
If you're just tuning in, my guest right now is pediatric nurse Brandy Welch as we talk about the labor issues at the Long Beach Memorial Medical Center. And Ms. Welch, I'm an outsider, so when I see headlines, sometimes I don't know how they connect or disconnect. I know that Blair Kent, the CEO of Memorial Care's Long Beach campus, recently retired after being on administrative leave for months. How does that figure into this at all? How should I look at that as an outsider from where you sit?
As an outsider, well, we've seen two CEOs leave in the last 3 years. And people will have to read into that as to what they would think about it. As far as the nurses, we do see the upheaval that's happening inside the house, and we would like to see it calm down a bit.
You make mention to, I guess, John Bishop, who previously had resigned in 2022. Is it fair to say that neither was more or less sympathetic to your issues or not?
I believe they pretty much are reading the same story. There's no change in how they are treating the nurses.
Okay. My last question to you is, after this point, what's the next step? Now, you said that there's going to be some sort of meeting on the 28th. Is that correct? It's between you and management.
Yes, it's the 26th of June. 26th. The bargaining team goes back to the table, and we'll see what they have to present to us. We will present to them first, and then they will present back, and we'll see what the reaction is.
So that means sometime after the 26th, either you or Amy Wolk or someone has to come back on this show and give us an update. Is that all right?
That is great. One of us will.
She's Brandy Welch, pediatric nurse. Ms. Welch, thank you for coming on this evening, and we'll definitely be in touch and continue to watch this story.
Great. Thank you again for having us on and hearing our voice. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I remember standing right across from me when the smelly vagrant lost his mind. I remember an old man pooping next to me on the LA Metro.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And sometimes Metro just does it to itself. I don't even look, it's not my fault, okay? This is all on Metro, and this is exactly what I mean. The Metro K line this morning was experiencing delays. because a person was found dead on the subway tracks. Well, if a person is found dead on the subway tracks, what are the betting odds that it has something to do with Metro? What are the betting odds? Okay. Then Metro got its statement together because they had to huddle up and say, okay, guys, how are we going to explain this dead body on the tracks? I need the best ideas. Okay, Mark, go. Stefan, go. Twala, go. And then they finally came up with, well, why don't we go ahead and tell the truth that we run the motherfucker over? And they said, okay, let's go with that. So a spokesman, this is true. A spokesman for Metro later said in a statement that a person was riding between two rail cars when they fell onto the tracks. The person died after being hit by a K-line train. They should have led with that. When you start off with, the K-line is experiencing delays this morning, there seems to be an obstruction on the tracks. You're really, really trying to undersell it. Start with the part of, we hit somebody, they're dead, you're probably not going to get to your job on time. Please make other arrangements. There's a dead body. It's almost like the movie Stand By Me. Want to see a dead body? There's a dead body on the tracks. Now, is it the fault of Metro that someone ended up dead on the tracks? I don't know. Maybe this person decided to jump off a platform and started walking down one of the tunnels and then got run over. I don't know. But, usually the truth is the best thing to lead with, because when you try to soft pedal the truth, then it looks like you don't want us to know exactly how he ended up. Have you seen it on social media? They don't say dead anymore. They say unalive, because they're trying to manipulate or not get shadow banned or not get their profiles hidden by using the word dead. I'm going to use it dead. They killed him dead, like Raid. They killed him dead. He wasn't unalived. He was killed. And I can say this, my time when I was riding Metro, there were at least 2 or 3 deaths. I think 2 were suicides, and I think 1 was a car. I wasn't in the train, but if you're like on the same track, you could be 3 cars back and it just stops the whole line.
Well, show some sensitivity, for God's sake. Their lives were negatively impacted.
Oh, it was a positive impact.
It was certainly an impact, yes.
With a negative result, but the impact, a positive, it happened. Well done. What were you going to say to all? What?
I was going to go with
I
was going to go with the sudden impact joke, but it just doesn't fit right now.
You feeling lucky, Metro riding punk? I guess you had to have seen the movie. Now, does this make you want to get on or get off Metro? I would be less inclined. I'd be disinclined to ride Metro if I knew that they were running people down.
I don't know.
I need to know if I get on at 6 a.m. that I don't have to worry about or reasonably worry about a dead body on the tracks making me late to work, because it's all about me.
Now, see, here's the thing.
All about me.
It may not be Metro related, but people are dying on these tracks all the time. My brother worked for the railroad.
True.
And these trains that you hear going around the city late at night, all throughout the day, stopping up traffic when you're trying to get somewhere, these trains hit people. They hit vehicles that are stopped on the track, because along the train tracks, lots of times is where homeless people are sleeping. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. There are homeless camps that are set up, people too close to the tracks, people falling asleep on the tracks, and that's it.
Not only that, if you've ever driven down Crenshaw, like that Slauson corridor, you're driving down Crenshaw, north-south, right along Slauson or so, at that junction, you will see people trying to dart across Crenshaw in their cars because they want to beat the train
all the time.
They do not want to wait for it. It's like, okay, this is a bad accident just waiting to happen, because you know the sequence of lights and they don't want to wait for the light, so they're just going to dash across the tracks, sometimes forgetting there may be a train coming in the other direction.
And what's wild is my brother always tells me, people think trains aren't moving fast. Trains are faster than you can imagine, and they will catch you.
I don't know. I think they're in around the 60 to 75 mile an hour range, if I'm not mistaken.
Some of the bigger trains are faster. Some of the trains that are carrying more because they have to build up that speed because you never know when you're going to hit the incline or something like that. So they try to maintain a nice solid speed. Yeah.
When they tell you do not try to beat the train across the tracks, they mean that. And to your point, but we have a lot of dumb people out there who are determined to just disregard it. And maybe let me just digress for a second. Has everyone seen the increase in disregard for driving in the sense of just go ahead and just speeding through lights?
Yeah.
Ignoring stop signs.
Absolutely.
Just complete disregard.
Today, a man in a silver Astro minivan.
Want to give out the license plate too?
I wish I could because he sped up on the opposite. So he went through the left-hand turn, opposite to a direction I'm going, sped into that lane and came all the way around cars through the red light to get through to the other side. Like he just did not want to wait in the back, waiting to go his turn.
I've seen that. And also what I see more often than not is the idiot. Okay. The light is red and the idiot who's going to come up on the right and pass everybody as the light turns green, or they will anticipate it turning green, and then they're going through the intersection while it's red.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's almost like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, is there any way he can just get clipped? And I don't want anyone to get hurt. I just want him to get clipped and end up running over the curb and ruin his car.
That's not enough. People have to be unalived for the message to get through. Don't do it.
I think these people think they're going to respawn like they're playing a video game. And I can promise you, I've covered a lot of car train accidents earlier in my career. You don't respawn. But you're rendered into raspberry preserves.
See, I don't want them to die. I want them to understand that it was their fault and suffer the consequences for the rest of their lives. That's all I want.
Too nice. You're too nice.
I want them to be reminded every single day, that was my dumb ass.
You know what will send a reminder? Their dumbass's car split in half on the side of the road.
Yeah, but if they don't live, then, they don't get the full, they get the full impact, but they don't get the full understanding of what they were doing and the results of their poor judgment, which not only endangered him or her, but everyone else around.
You just want them to learn a lesson.
Yes. Yeah. A very painful and expensive lesson.
The ultimate lesson?
No, not the ultimate lesson. I want them to lose their car, lose their license, be financially ruined. I don't want them to die.
Oh, that's generous of you. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't wish death on anyone. I may mock them after the fact, but I don't wish death on anyone.
You softy.
Well, look, that's somebody's brother, somebody's daughter, someone's friend.
It's someone's idiot. It's someone's reckless
idiots
idiot.
Need love too.
Okay.
So, I mean, look, I was a knucklehead, maybe not to this degree, but I was a knucklehead and, I didn't want anyone wishing death on me. So I don't wish death on you. But if it should happen to come because of your stupidity, then that's okay. I'll accept that. If you get hit by a train, you earned that. You did everything in your power to bring that on yourself. Either walking on the train tracks, sleeping on the train tracks, trying to drive across the train tracks. You don't accidentally get hit by a train ever. Ever.
No.
Ever. The only way you accidentally get hit by a train, it has to be not your fault, like someone pushes you on the tracks, which has happened. Which is why whenever I go to any type of city or I'm going on the subway, like in Washington, D.C., I never stand near the edge. Never. I'm not in a rush to get on a train. I will let 30 people get on before me, and I will stand 20 feet back. Always.
Do you know when I've been walking and I approach a train track and the thing's coming down, I don't even get close to the curb. I stand in the middle of the block. I will wait. I don't want to be that close to a train.
Well, if I'm driving my car and the things the arms come down, I stay at least 10, 15 feet back from there, because I've seen too many movies where they hit the car or hit you from behind and push you in the path of the train.
Yeah.
I'm not going to end up, I think, like they did in Lethal Weapon 4. I'm not going to end up like Lethal Weapon 4. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We have a beach update. You know what that means. Don't go in the water.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story. Or there's so much news, you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. And you probably could have seen this news coming. The LA County Department of Health is warning of ocean water recreation at several county beaches because the bacteria levels are high. And it seems like whenever we talk about this, have you noticed they never circle back to say it's safe to go back in the water? We always hear when it's not safe. And it's kind of open-ended. It's almost like until further notice. They never ever give us any other notice after the fact. They just sort of assume it's better a week from now.
That's true. You've reported this like 3 times, and there's never been a retraction or saying,
no
yeah,
follow-up.
Go in now.
No, never said like, hey, all clear. Bacteria levels are cool. But they do list a number, recorded information on beach conditions, available 24 hours a day at the County Beaches Hotline. The County Beach Hotline? Wow, I didn't know it had a hotline. 800-525-5662. No, we're not giving away anything. 800-525-5662 if you want recorded information on beach conditions. Let me give you some specifics. It's all bad news. All bad news. Topanga Canyon Beach in Malibu, 100 yards up and down the coast from the lagoon, just in case you know where the lagoon is. Redondo Beach Pier. Oh, I used to go there all the time. 100 yards up and down the coast from the pier. And if you ever go to Redondo Beach or the pier, you don't go in the water. You just kind of go to the pier. You don't go in the water. You shouldn't go in the water. Ramirez Creek at Paradise Cove, 100 yards up and down the coast from the pier. Santa Monica Pier, 100 yards up and down the coast from the pier. So just think the pier, 100 yards up or down. Castle Rock storm drain at Topanga County Beach, 100 yards up and down the coast from the storm drain. Mother's Beach and Marina del Rey, stay your ass out of the water altogether. The entire swim area is dangerous. High bacteria levels. The entire swim area at Mother's Beach, Marina del Rey. Also, Inner Cabrillo Beach. Some people say Cabrillo, but I say Cabrillo. Cabrillo Beach, San Pedro, the entire swim area. The Bel Air Bay Club, Will Rogers State Beach, 100 yards up and down the coast of the club border fence. And again, if you should need any recorded information on beach conditions, it's available 24 hours at 800-525-5662. Mark, have you been in any beach in Southern California since you've lived down here?
Are you crazy?
No, I just thought I would ask. I thought that you hadn't, but I was wondering.
No.
But what about in Seattle?
I mean, I would go to the beach to walk, but not go in the water.
Did you go in as a kid? I know you were lifeguarded for like a city pool, but yeah, I mean, as a kid.
I'm sure my immune system was far healthier when I was a child.
Well, who are you, the boy in the plastic bubble?
Well, you don't want to be swimming around with assorted items that you would encounter floating in the water, would you?
You mean like a toilet?
Yeah, much like a toilet, in fact, yes.
All right. Hey, Stefan, when was the last time you were in the water at a beach?
I'd probably say like maybe 3 years ago. It's been a minute.
Brave. Okay. That's brave.
Yeah. Tuala, what about you? Ever?
The last
this
time,
century?
I think.
No, I'm being serious.
No, wait. The last time, I think my daughter might have been 5, so that's about 10 years ago. But that's because she wanted to go get in the water. She was too little to get in by herself. So actually, she's 5, and she didn't want to go in by herself. And we got in, seaweed touched her leg, we were out. So it was like in, seaweed, out.
Yeah. the seaweed be moving and tickling your leg. That's too much.
Yeah, and I made it out to be much bigger than it was. I was like, "Oh my god, we don't know what that is. It's a fish.
You just want to get out of the water.
Shark fish, whatever." Yeah, I was like, "Let's go."
The last time I was in the water, it was actually as part of a cruise. We went to Magens Bay. I think it was the British Virgin Islands in the Caribbean, and I got sunburned. Yes, black people get sunburned. I got sunburned because we were in the water for like 2 hours or so. And especially when you're in the Caribbean, the water is beautiful. It's clear, but the reflection off the water is what gets you sunburned so easily.
I think I would go in the water in one of those foreign countries where they tend not to use their coastal areas as a toilet, and the water's clear and blue.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's something out of like a travel magazine. You don't think that it exists anywhere, but it really does, where you can see the bottom like 10 feet down. It's
right.
Did you go to Fubu Island?
Fubu Island? No.
Oh, you didn't go to that event?
No.
Oh, yeah. I think it was an event that they had. It was
like Club Hedonism.
No. It was at one island near Puerto Rico, and they had rented out the gentleman from Fubu rented out the island. It was a big launch. They had LL Cool J perform. It was a big thing. But the best part about it was getting in the water, seeing crystal clear blue water, and being able to see, I don't know, maybe a mile out and just see straight, almost see the seafloor. You can see fish from a distance. That was crazy.
Yeah, but see, I don't go to music industry events anymore because I'm married.
Oh, this is prior to marriage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's why I said this was years ago, at least 2 decades ago.
I can't go to music industry events anymore. I can't. Nothing good comes of it. Either I'm going to run into someone I knew in a biblical sense, or I'm going to run into someone who knew me in a biblical sense.
Now, I got down in the biblical sense. Oh, Carnicia's in the studio. No. Never mind.
I'm just saying, they're just, look, can't go to strip clubs anymore.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Yeah. Can't do it. Why, Mo? Because you're married? No, because I might know somebody. Probably their daughter is stripping there now.
Damn.
Generational strippers.
I think people tune in for the heartwarming stories like that.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.